That's the best way I can put that question. Thank you.
Okay, Kenny, thank you very much for the question. You see, the problem is that divination or having communication with the spirit world comes in different forms. Some people get their communication with the spirit world through dreams. Some get them through events, things that happen to them or happen on them while they are going somewhere or even when they are in their own home. So there are so many ways that a person can get a communication with the spirit world or with the psychic plane. But for the untrained mind, even if you have your dreams and your dreams comes true all the time, sometimes some dreams are just dreams. You would not know what it really means or what it really meant when you wake up. So you'll be wondering what it is, and then you want to ask people to translate the dream or to see if they can explain that dream to you. Yes, there are people who are also very good in explaining dreams, but then they are also not that perfect. So that is why divination is the most important and the best way, because in divination, the oracle is the one coming to talk, and the person did not listen to anything that you have spoken. You had experienced. You don't have to tell the person anything that you had experienced. You are just going to speak on your money and give it to the oracle. Let the oracle find out what is happening in your life. That one is accurate, because without you giving any clue to the oracle will be able to tell you what is happening in your life. Unlike when you have a dream and you are trying to understand, you are asking someone, "Oh, I had a dream like this, like that. What do you think it is?" And that person also going to use their human mind and human judgment to tell what the dream is happening or what the dream is all about. That's why I always suggest a divination with someone who can really do divination properly. There are people who sit out there also who say they are diviners, but they are not diviners at all. They are just crazy jokers. But then they fool people because they probably may be having certain kind of names, dress up in certain form, create an environment that puts some kind of fear into you before. So such people are just pretenders. The real diviners are there, and they can pinpoint everything without you even mentioning one single word to them. If you have a dream and you wanted to know what that dream is, you just speak on your money without the diviner and everything, and then when it is given to the oracle should be able to pick what you spoke on the money and be able to break it down why that was so. If the oracle is able to pick the information that you spoke on your money, then the oracle should definitely be able to find the solution to that problem as well. That's why divination is the best key. But do divination with the right teachers or the right diviners, not just anybody who call themselves diviners. So we have a lot of people there who say they are diviners and they are just, I don't know how to call them. They are pretending. They don't know anything, but they just want to make some money. So they can tell you any nonsense and you will just believe because you don't know. You came to them to ask for, so they will just tell you anything and you will have to accept it that way, whether you are satisfied or not. But there are proper and true diviners that can break whatever they have not heard from you and be able to tell you what you said and what is happening in your life. So I will advise everybody, like I always do, that when there is something that you don't understand, go to a proper diviner and let them give you the proper answer. Thank you very much, Kenny. I hope I have explained a little bit of your confusion and misunderstanding of what it should be. Sorry.
Thank you, Papa. Can I just ask, can you just find if you have recommended one or somebody or something that you resonate with, can you just go with just an individual question or about an individual dream for divination about that, or does it have to open up everything, or is it that you can just go with that one question and it opens up everything anyway? How would I or one come if they've got a certain dream or something that keeps coming forward? Can I just do divination on that?
You can do divination on one particular topic, and you can also do divination on different things that are happening in your life or disturbing the peace of your mind. That's what divination is all about. You are not supposed to only pick one single topic if there are so many other things that are worrying you. So you have to mention all those things on the whatever the diviner asks you to bring, that will connect him into your psyche to be able to give you answers to what are worrying you. You must speak all the things that are disturbing you or worrying on, all the challenges you are having. So it should not only be on one single topic, but it could be on different topics. But a good diviner should be able to pieces them all and tell you the answer of each one. But then if it is only one single event that you want to only know about, there's of course you can ask about that one too. And I believe that a real diviner should be able to break it down and let you know what's happening.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I actually believe sometimes from my own experience, you may go with one question and it can open up a myriad of other stuff that you need to be connected with. I'm very grateful, thank you.
You're welcome, kindly. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, go ahead. Who is there, Kadi?
Yes, hi.
Yes.
Or maybe I should have to say I have a feedback. Sometimes when we have a dream or when we have an event that's coming to us, it might not be clear. We could have a dream or we could have an event in which that bothers us. Say, for instance, that we keep hitting our left toe. And if we keep stabbing our left toe, of course, that's posing a problem for us. So we might go ahead and get a divination and ask the person to know why we keep hitting our left toe. Now, the left toe might be significant in a reason in which that's giving us a physical effect of what's going on. But when we get inside of our divination and we ask the ancestors or ask the oracle questions, then it might not have anything absolutely to do with the fact that you're stabbing your left toe. That might be something in which the oracle or that the ancestors gave to you in order to force you in order to get the reason to let you know that there is something that is going on with you. But what you might think the problem is, once you get inside of a reading, it might not be the problem exactly at all. It could have nothing to do with what you actually think your problem or what's going on.
That's very true, Kadi. You're absolutely right. Yeah, sometimes you may want to do a divination on something or on a dream or whatever, something had happened to you and you want to find out. But then there is the root cause of the problem, you may not even be knowing it. So it is through divination that you can get to that. You may have your mind on the left side, thinking that's where it is coming from, but then it may be on the right side. So divination is always advisable because it's the one that can give you a clear-cut idea about what you are not understanding.
Yeah, that's why I said, because I believe that it can, one simple question can open up a myriad of other things that you didn't have your mind on.
Right.
And for instance, I don't want to say any more from that because I indicate myself.
You are right.
But I'm just saying it's important for me to know that I can, if I have one question, if I feel that I'm at a point in my life, the crossroads, and I'm having a certain dream which could be happening, I may have to go and look in more than one area, but I'm just coming from one question. Open up everything else. I may have to go and get this and do this and do that. But that's really clear to me. Very grateful. Thank you, Kadi.
Thank you kindly. Thank you, Kadi. Thank you all. Okay, we are on YouTube now. We have KM saying, "Good afternoon, Papa. blessings to you and the AM team. And then we have KM again saying, Papa, what are the differences between how African spirituality is practiced in the diaspora versus how it is practiced on the continent? Thank you. KM, I think that is very obvious and very clear already. People in the diaspora were part of the continent at one time. Their ancestors came from there. But then you are talking about 400, 500 years of not directly learning from their ancestors who were taken from here. Definitely there will be some adulterations and some missing links. But then the people in the diaspora are just trying to do the best they can do to relive what was left for them by their ancestors. I think that is it. It can never be totally be the same like what had been practiced on the continent. And then, of course, the environment and also modernization may play part in whatever the diaspora are using to do their ancestral homage paying, compared to what we will do on the continent. So definitely there are some changes. And then those people in the diaspora who felt that, they needed more than what they are getting over there, may travel and come to the continent and meet some teachers who may put things back together for them and make them to experience what they have all the time been looking for. So definitely there are two, the diaspora versus the continent is totally different, but they're very similar, I would say.
Can I speak again, please?
Go ahead, Kendi. You have all the floor to speak as many times as you want to.
Thank you. I'm born to Nigerian family, and so Ifa is the practice there, and I've put my heart into it because since a very young child, I've been, I think I've had a calling, but it came about in a really funny way because although I never told that Ifa, I just knew, and I think I knew because of the photograph of my grandmother that my mother always carried around with her when she was here in England. And then I think again when I got to around about by 10, definitely I've had other different things come through spiritually as a child, but by 10 I had to with my dad who was 10, being my twin sister went to watch Live and Let Die. At the pictures of my father. And in that film, they dealt a lot with the Hollywoodization of voodoo, and they had a lot of fun and Zahoni in that. And as a 10-year-old sitting in the picture at that time, I heard the voice tell me something. My name is actually Yuandi, but Kandi is a twin name, so I tend to use it a lot. And they used my name and they said to me, you're going to, this is you. This is all where you come from. This is what you need to know about. This is everything. But since then, I think, in this country, the diaspora, if you don't have anybody, which I didn't have anybody to talk to at that time, I didn't really know at 10 they were just talking to me. I thought everybody could hear the same voice as I was, but it's their name. Point I'm trying to make it. I've put myself in the hands of people who have really practitioners and experienced. But as you said, Papa, there's a lot of charlatans. But I've come to the part of my life now, I just turned 58 yesterday, where I feel like it's now time for me to really be serious because I have had a lot of banging on my door, had been knocked upside my stubborn head, and it's time for me. And I find myself here. I've been in the in the IFA playroom for a long time, and the confidence is there because I have to go home and get some information from there. But I find myself here, and I feel like is this full circle if I'm coming into another transformation in my life, and stuff is coming through for me very strong. it's not like I'm trying to be stubborn, please. It's just that, I've had to teach my little self to trust. I'm being very vulnerable here. To trust, to open up. And I'm at that stage now. So can you tell me, and I'm sure you have people who have done Ifa as well as Afa, and is it important for me to learn some language from the Ewe? I've felt connected to the Ewe for quite a long time, over 10 years, over 15, 20 years actually. I kind of almost want to say that what's going on with me, but I kind of know. So can you just speak on something from me, Papa? I think that will help me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kendi, for that. You see, as you said yourself, you said earlier, yes, there are so many charlatans and people who are just playing on the intelligence and the innocence of many people who are really willing, very sincerely willing to learn about their roots. And then these charlatans also have taken advantage of that and then playing on their innocence. And they take advantage of taking money and all these things from them. But you see, our inner self, which we call a self in Ewe, I think that's also similar to what the Yorubas call Ori. We all have this thing, as and when the right time comes, it will lead you to the right place. That's what I believe. And I had always said this long before revolution and African Magic Temple had been established, that it is very rare for people to get to know me. It is not very easy for you to get to know me. It is not like today that I am on social media and everybody can talk to me and contact, or I'm teaching you. But I had always said that if your destiny had not given you an opportunity to meet me in this life, there is no way you will ever meet me in this life. And that I have very much confidence in myself on that. So when your destiny thinks it's the right time for you to meet the right people, you surely meet them. And also it is up to you to take the decision and decide whether you want to work with the people. It is the feeling. If you feel comfortable or your inner self feels comfortable with somebody, the inner self or your instinct will give you that assurance that don't worry, it is okay. But then if your inner self or your instincts are creating doubts for you, then you must be very careful before you deal with such people. So I would say, now that you say you were, I think I heard you say you were going to Nigeria. When you get to Nigeria, you can also learn from them. Just pray and ask your destiny to direct you to the right teacher. And I believe strongly your destiny will take you there. And your first initial feelings towards somebody is always the correct answer. That's where your instinct is cautioning you or advising you. If your feeling towards someone is so bad or awkward in the beginning, you should be afraid. But if your feeling towards that person is warm and if you feel more relaxed to discuss or come closer, then you know that your inner self is creating a wavelength or a vibration between you and that person. Because as we were talking about vibrations when Kali was asking the question about the COVID, it is also in human beings. We are always emanating waves, and we have vibrations that we are giving. So when two people meet, if their vibrations are not on the equilibrium stage or standard, and they don't go together. But when you meet someone and both of you have the same wavelength of a feeling of vibration, definitely you can go together and you see that you benefit from one another. So kindly you should learn from whoever you think can teach you, but you should let your instinct speak to you. Let your inner self give you the direction. Ewe Afa and Yoruba Ifa, it's almost the same. because the Ewes learn Afa from the Yoruba Ifa. And then we use all the Odus, we call it Afadu, from Bemeji, Ekumeji up to Fubeji. But the Ewe one has the 17th one called the Polychetula, that Oshe and Otura joining together, which is the Chetula, as the 17th, whereas in the Yoruba main one is only 16. So this is how everything is. So there's not much different. The language-wise too, people who can teach you, some speak English, some speak French, and you should find the teacher that can speak the language that you can understand, whether in Nigeria or in Togo or in Ghana or any part of the world for that matter. You should find a teacher that you can understand and the teacher can understand you. That opens a lot of doors for avenues for learning, and it also brings clarity to whatever you will be learning. So my advice is ask your inner self to direct you to the best place, because I cannot point anybody to you that go to this person and go to that person. Of course, African Magic Temple is here, but then it is not my. I don't have to force people or trick people or they say, "Oh, come to me, I will do it for you." That's not the kind of priest, Bokor or healers we are. You should be able to choose who you want to teach you, but choose a person who can teach you so you can understand it very clearly. When you are asking questions, your questions can be very clearly answered so that you can also gain from what you are learning. Thank you very much, Ken. I think that's how much I can say. The language, it does not really matter. Once the person can speak a language you can understand, and you can translate it for you easily, that's fine for you to be able to take that person and teach her, whether in Nigeria, Togo, Benin, or in Ghana here. Thank you very much, Kennedy.
Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Can I make a suggestion? For me, when I was first starting out, first of all, I would like to say that I grew up in an Muslim family, but my parents' ancestors, they believed in voodoo, but for us, they raised us as Muslims, and we grew up in a strict Muslim Islamic family, and voodoo or African spirituality is a bad thing, or it's a bad thing. So, but for me, I kept getting visions, I kept having dreams, and things of that nature, and the more I searched and the more I researched, and I looked at what my grandmother did and things around me, and that my mother, to that age, even unbeknownst to them, it was voodoo, although voodoo was bad, but they were still doing voodoo practices, but it was demonizing voodoo. So even though they were having voodoo practices and things of that nature, it was funny to me, but they demonized it, but this was something that I found out to and that I was drawn to, that I had to continue to actually research and everything like that. So for me, because I didn't have anybody to teach me, what I did was I had a glass of water and I would light a candle at night, and I kept a notebook on my nightstand. And before I go to bed, I would pray into my water and pray into my candle, and ask for guidance, ask for a teacher, and ask for something for the universe and for my ancestors to send me somebody that was real. Send me some
Spirit is path of showing me things on this path to bring me to where I am today. I'm 58 yesterday, as I said, and it feels really liberating now that I feel that I'm in a place where I can trust myself. It's growing. I remember when social media first came on, and just looking for my tribe and looking for what is African spirituality, knowing that I've asked myself many times and spoken to my Orimilia times, but now looking at the collective and everything. I see people who are out there living their life and sticking with their purpose. I know that I'm guided. One thing I do know, Bob, is I trust my heart today. I trust my heart. I have had such a past. I think that the calling I've had was connected to a lot of the stuff that I've experienced in my life, really heavy. And now I'm at a place now where I'm ready, even if the money is not there at the current moment for me to go and say right now what divination this second, that my Ori has always guided me and I always land on my feet in so many different ways I can say I have. So I feel really ready. I don't, I cannot say to you I have a name, but or that they said to me, yeah, go over there. But I have my heart, and that is what I trust, and that is why I'm here, because it's communion. Like you, I have a connection with my candle and my water, and it's been a real good guidance for years, but now I feel like I've become a little bit stubborn and a little bit stuck in my inside self, and it's now time for me to come out and share and learn more. So to do that, I think, definitely divination, some of the questions that I have to ask are really important, and I do believe it's going to open up so much more wherever I am, whoever my heart is led to work with and learn with and teach. So thank you, Papa, and thank you, Kelly, for your lovely advice as well.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you very much. Your Ori or your essay is the God that came with you into this universe or into this plane of life, and is the only God that will live with you, because that is your inner self. That one will not be destroyed. Maybe in your next life, you may be born in your next life, you may be born into a Hindu family. In your next life, you may be born into any other family. But your Ori or your essay will always be with you wherever you may go. So whenever you want to do anything, consult your inner self and ask for the guidance, just like you are doing already. And it will have to guide you. Because at my time, when I was confused, I was born into a Christian home, and Vodu family. That my father, I had shared this story many times, and my father didn't really want us to go towards our grandfather's line. But then when I was growing up in the church, I did not like, I don't know, but I just didn't like what was going on. I cannot even tell what was going on, but my inner self did not like that, and I realized that I didn't belong to the church. So my father, realizing my challenges and difficulties, gave me a book to read, and in that book, I had to do a fasting and everything, and asked my inner self to direct me, and then my inner self directed me towards yoga. So I went into yoga for many years, and I did a meditation and became a monk and all this thing. And then finally, I was again directed back home to my Vodu origin. Now I am wiser than before, and I can now put 1 and 2 together to find answer to my problems. And that's why I am here teaching you today. So your inner self is always with you, and is the best guide that you can have. And it's the only God, because when you came here, you came to meet your parents who were born either Christian, that's why you become a Christian. If they were born into Islam, then you go to Islamic person. If they were born into Buddhism, it has no religion. You can always move from one phase to another phase. So try as much as possible to have consolation.
Thank you, Papa, but I have a question if no one's next.
Go ahead, Claudio.
This question, okay, so a lot of ideas I can speak for me, my ancestors and ancestors deep into thinking that African spirituality is demonic and evil and all of that. So my question is, when they die and return to the ancestral realm, how should it change for them? Because now you have to look to connect to them through African spirituality. If that my question makes sense.
Come again with the question. You broke somewhere, so the internet got there's a cut.
Yes.
So can
So most of our ancestors were to see African spirituality as demonic.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you have me as their descendants coming in, using African spirituality to reconnect to them and to reconnect to our way. So when they die as non-believers or as Christian believers who think African spirituality is evil, when they return to the ancestral realm, is this something that gets corrected for them that now they embrace it and embrace connection to? Say, as who are now connected through that.
Okay, I had we had spoken something earlier about this PTSD thing when I was talking about when the soul leaves the body, or when your inner self leaves the body. That time there is no more lies. You cannot tell a lie, and you cannot live a lie. So when our fathers and mothers, or our forefathers who became Christians and believed that their own ancestral worship is demonic, when they die, they go into the ancestral world. Then they have that realization that they all along they were deceiving themselves and they were playing with themselves. So there's nothing like somebody is going to correct them or not. They will know immediately. The time they are dying, they will know. They will know that all that they have been doing here was fooling themselves, and they will be wishing to come back quickly so that they can correct themselves. So there's nothing wrong with it. When you are praying to your ancestors, there are no more Christians, there are no more Muslims, or there are no more anything when they are in the ancestral world. They are just spirits, and they have no religion, and they are only going to be seeing reality. So you, as a descendant of them, calling upon them, they have to answer it. They are not going to be saying, oh, they are Christian. They are not more Christian. That's because when we were coming here, just like I was telling Ken earlier, when you were coming into this place, your essay, your ori, your destiny is the one that came with you. And it did not come like a Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or whatever. If your essay directed you to be born in a Buddhist home, you automatically become a Buddhist. If you are born in a Muslim home, you become a Muslim. If you are born in a Christian home, you become a Christian. But as you grow in spirituality, or you grow slowly, you begin to see what your essay will begin to point to you, what really you are. And you realize that the religion in which you were born into is not what you are. And you will want more than that. Because that is when the truth starts coming out in you. It's not anybody going to tell you anything, but the inner self itself will start to look for the way to escape from the human nature where human religions or things are created by human beings. So it will look for that way and give you direction towards there where it can develop and become greater than it has been where it was in religion. I don't know whether my answer makes any sense to you, Kodu.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I had a follow-up question, but I think you answered that.
Okay.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So then with regards to that, so when say we're doing the feeding, I recall you called the ancestors who you know are going to look out for you, because if you know there were some ancestors who had bad mind for you, you don't even add their names.
Yeah, definitely. You don't feed a dog that will bite you. Okay. A dog that is going to bite you, why should you feed it?
So with some of them, they keep that same energy even in that realm, like against you, like wants to bite you.
Even if they don't keep that energy against you, but when they were physically here, they were against you. So how do you know whether when they are there, they are not against you? So it's better to avoid making complications than to make mistakes and then say, "Oh, I'm sorry." No, you know that they were here, they didn't like you. Why encourage them?
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Kojo. There's please let me take some questions from Facebook. We have a question from here. Please go up first. Bring the thing up. There was some question up I didn't answer. I think. Okay. Go. Yeah. No. Yeah. This. There is a question replying to Kuku, God knows. I think there's a question, the great one. I learned some families are cursed with. Then the great this question is not answered. I have answered it. God knows. I have answered that question when you asked. Then I said that I don't know which families are cursed, and I have no relationship with them. I have no connection with them. If they are cursed to be mad, and what caused that, or why that curse, I cannot tell. It's not everything in this world that I know. I cannot know everything. So if that family or those families are cursed, it is better for those families to go and look for solutions, how they can get out of under that curse. But it is not my place to tell you, oh, this is what they should do, that's what they should not do. It is up to the families to go and look for answers to their problem. I don't have the solution to everything in the world. Some family is cursed, I don't know them. They don't know me. So why should I be the one to tell you what is the cause of their curse? No, it doesn't go that way. That's not what spirituality is. People who pretend to be spiritualists are the ones who try to tell you, oh, it is this, it is that, it is this. I don't even know them, and they don't even know me. So whatever that is, they should go and find out through a divination, consultation with spirits and spiritualists, and they'll find answers to their problems. So Kukuba, God knows. That is what I had said. Maybe you didn't listen, or maybe the line broke before the internet stopped. I don't know, but that's my take on that question. Thank you very much. God knows. Move it. Okay, then we have a Mike Thomas. Hello, Ewe Voncujovi. What are the different cleansing options that you use at temple besides spiritual bath? Mike Thomas, there are so many different cleansing. Even the baths are not just one single type of bath. If you can see some video that the children showed earlier, some people just go and take bath and go. Some people will be spotted. Some people, even an animal will be slaughtered on them before they bath. So there are so many types of baths. Bath is not just one thing. It's not just one way that, okay, go and bath. No. That's not how we work at my shrine. We do consultation, and we will know what kind of bath should be prepared for you. We also have fumigations, where you only use smoke of herbs and all this thing, and fumigate the room or smoke yourself. It's also a cleansing. And then, of course, there are some perfumes also which are prepared highly powerful that you can use to wear to cleanse yourself. So there are so many forms of cleansing. So it is not only spiritual bath. And the spiritual bath is not just one. There are so many different types of it. But by nature, a human being, when you are dirty, what do you do? Is it not bath that you take? Unless, of course, you are in a place that there is no water, then you will try to use other means. But definitely, bath will be the final solution to cleansing. Thank you very much, Mr. Mike Thomas. Thank you for the question. Like the question, and let's move forward. And then... Again, Kukubo, God knows his Papa, my question on madness is not answered. I have just answered it, God knows. Thank you. Unless you are not listening. Then we have Alfred Abeku Bini say, thank you, Papa. No, there was another thank you up there, or was that on YouTube? Okay, let me go with this one. Then, Papa, my question on madness is not answered. Nunya Alido Asimetu Bojidi ne. Ela donu now sia nyabiabia o subo nesia tokuku de deme akpe madon ne hola sister madon I have answered him twice, but he still didn't get it. I don't know. But when people get mad, they have to make consultation to find out what happening to them so that they can find solution to their problem. Thank you very much. And then for Martin Kobler saying dogs have thousands of sensory organs in their noses than humans have. They can detect things far beyond the capacity of humans. For example, they can sense hurricanes several hours before we know about them. They also sense death before it happens. Yes, you are very right, because all these things that happen is a vibration. That's what Cardi Fisher was just talking. Even death, before it will come to you, it's a vibration. So when that vibration comes and the dog can sense it and know, because it can pick that senses, even though those senses are not physical things we can see with our physical eyes, but they can pick the vibration of it. That's very true. Thank you very much for Martin. Let's go up, Kofi. Then we have a top fan +1, Koku Agbeko. Papa, please, how to donate to support your teachings? Oh, Koku Agbeko, thank you very much. Thank you very much. My problem here is that I don't really just accept donations. My reason is when you start accepting donations from people that you have not worked for, and if it is not a work that you have worked for and they are paying you and they are just giving you donation, it will get to a point they will begin to dictate to you and tell you, do this, do that. And because you probably will become dependent on them from their donation, you will not be able to do things the way you actually plan to do them. That's why I don't really accept donations. If you want me to work for you, yes, I will work for you, I will charge you, I will take my money and I will use that money to run my shrine. Once in a while, we may ask during the end of the year to ask people who wants us to do certain things on their behalf. And then if they send us money, we will also gather some monies or coins from that aspect and add it to what we have to run the shrine or to do the ritual or the end of year ceremonies or mid-year ceremonies. That is the way I have been doing my work. There was one time I was asking for money for camera so that we can get a better camera to use for this thing. And some few people have sent us money for that, but then it is not up to the point where we can use to buy the new camera. But we are managing with what we are having. We are using our phones, and I think so far so good. People could still hear me and see me. So we are managing with that. So it is not my plan in my shrine to be asking for people. Even people who have been coming physically to the shrine ask me how can they be making some contribution, monthly contribution to the shrine. It is a very good thing and a very laudable idea, but as for now, I have not reached that point where I'm going to be accepting donations from people. If you send me money that, okay, buy a drink and pray for me, yes, I will get that money, I'll buy a drink and I'll pray for you. But just to say, I want to donate money to you, no, I'm sorry, I've not gotten there yet. But maybe one day when it becomes necessary. Thank you very much. Then we have Prince Mahesh here. Good day, Bokor Christopher. This is David from New York. Hello, David, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you are fine. My regards to everybody. And then again, Prince Mahesh again, who is David Baba. I heard what you said about feeding ancestors once a year. How often should we give them water or alcohol? Okay, that's a very good question, David, you've asked. You see, for the libation, which is the alcohol that we use, or using water, it's a daily thing. You can do it every day, and you can do it many times a day. It does not matter. That is normal, because even people who haven't eaten, they do drink water. So you can give water as many times as you want, and also once in a while you can give alcohol. And if you yourself you like drinking alcohol, then you give alcohol, because the ancestors would like to eat what you eat. Don't give them what you don't eat. But then there are certain foods that you eat and they don't like, then they will not accept it. But they would like to eat what they have eaten before, and you also have touched it to your mouth. Then it shows that it is not poisonous to them. Thank you very much, David. Praise Mahesh. Thank you. Then we have our brother Sparrowhawk Smith here. Papa, is the difference between voodoo? Is the difference between voodoo Sakpata and Asaseya? No, there is no difference between voodoo Sakpata and Asaseya. They are the same. In Ewe, it is called Anigbato or Sakpata or Sakpate. In Yoruba, it's called Babalu Aye, which means the father of the earth. Babalu Aye, the father of the earth, Babalu Aye was father of the earth, or the Asase, which is land. And then in Akan, it's called Asaseya. I think in India, in Hindi, it's called Gaya. So that is just a name, but they are the same thing. And in different languages, different cultures, it's the same thing. Thank you very much, Sparrowhawk Smith. Thank you. It's been a while. Then we have our big sister Ifadara here. Grand blessings, Papa and family. Thank you, big sister Ifadara. Hope you are doing well. My regards to everybody and my blessings upon you. May you grow from day to day and in strength. And until we meet here on the seashore, I will be expecting you. Thank you very much. Kofi, move it. Let's see if there's anything there. And then we have a Cuddy Fisher here again saying, how do you know the family is cursed? Okay, the curse could be the family dies. Yes, there could be the family deity. That's very true. It could be the family deity that is causing the problem. That's why I'm telling you that the people who are having the problem, they should go and make consultation and find out what is their problem. It is not like you and I or me here telling you what's supposed to be done. No, that's not it. Thank you very much, Ekani, for the answer there. And then we have our sister Oluchi. Kofi, move this thing. Our sister Oluchi also, okay. This is why I so love Papa. He always say the truth as it is. With peace and love, they don't know Papa and Papa don't know them. The truth is the truth. Yes, thank you very much, big sister. That is the truth, because I don't know them and they don't know me. So why ask me what is their case or why they are suffering madness? I don't know them. Okay, then we are going on to KM saying on YouTube. KM is saying thank you, Papa, for the answer that I gave to him on the diaspora versus the continent, the differences in the practice. Now we have SB here. Hello, Bokor Christopher and AMT family. Sundays are special days. This forum makes Sundays very special to me. Thank you, Bokor. Thank you very much, SB. We are very, very happy to hear this. And then we have KM again. Papa, on Kojo's point, I thought when our relatives pass and elevate into the ancestral realm, the negativity or jealousy they had towards us would cease. Is this not the case? No, it's not the case. It's not the case at all. Because we have encountered people when they were even dead, especially people who were super witches in physical life. And when they die, they continue tormenting people even on the physical plane. And there were occasions that I had to go and help exhume their bodies, do rituals and set fire to them before they leave people who they have been tormenting. So in this case, it's not always the case that when they have jealousy, because when you die, everything that is inside you remains, and it remains within you. But then you know the truth about it. If you are a bad person before dying, you know that you were bad, and if you are a good person before dying too, you will definitely know that you were a good person. So your negativity and this remains with you. That's why when you are born back into the earth again, wherever you may be placed, slowly, as you grow, you begin to develop all these things back in you. That's the same way you will develop your spirituality that you had acquired in this lifetime. That is the same way you will begin to grow in spirit and become powerful when you come back into this life, because you will continue where you left off. That's how it is. Thank you very much, KM. And then KM say, I thought I had heard. Okay, yes, but then this is my teaching because I've had experiences with whatever I teach. I don't just teach from what I heard. I teach from my experiences. Knowledge, Allah is saying, peace, Papa. What herbs would you suggest for herbs opening the pineal gland on eye? Knowledge, Allah, I'm very sorry. I don't teach things like that on air. I don't just teach people how to open their eyes or open their ears by telling them which herb to use. If you want to open your pineal gland and pituitary glands, you must get initiation. When you get initiation, you'll be taught the keys. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to another place, and I think we are done with there. We have seen our big sister Luchi's comments on that. Go on to the other roll it this way. Roll it down if we still have anything there. Is that the last?
Yes.
Okay, that's the last. So let's go back to Clubhouse, please. Anybody there with any question, please?
Hi, this is Weston. I have one question.
Yeah, Weston, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for your time again. What is the Indian word for chicken?
Koklo. It's called koklo, and the male chicken is called koklo lochu. But I have seen that in the diaspora, people have been calling chicken akuko, which is the Akan word. It's not the Ewe word. Akuko is the Akan word for chicken, but the Ewe word for chicken, I think the Ewe and the four words for chicken is koklo, koklo lochu, or koklo chu, koklo lochu, or koklo chu. Yeah. Hello, Wesna, yes. Huh?
Kokolo Day? Does that sound familiar?
Kokolo Day? Yes, because the word kokolo is the word for chicken. So when they say kokolo Day, then it is probably they are referring to a certain type of chicken. Or the word has been adulterated a little bit by adding the day to it. The kokolo simply means chicken in Ewe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please bring the question, please.
My question is, you spoke a bit about the libation. If you don't drink alcohol and you want to use alcohol for the libation, can you just do it and not drink it?
Yes, you can. You can pour libation with alcohol without drinking it. You can pour libation with water, and any water and alcohol are what we use. So even if you don't drink alcohol, you want to pour libation with alcohol. When you do, you should at least use your tongue to touch your hand, the hand that is holding the glass or the cup. Use your tongue to touch it. That shows that you have also tasted it. Or you just put a very little bit in your mouth without really getting it like you are drinking, just to touch your tongue to the liquid. So your ancestors will feel that you are not trying to give them poison.
My next question, a follow-up, is when is the best time to do any the libation? Anytime or morning?
The best time to pour libation can be any time. It doesn't really matter what time you are pouring libation. But if you want to get the maximum effect from any prayer or pouring of libation, you should wake up early as 3 a.m. where human activities are very less. Then you pray at that time and it is more effective. I have practiced it and I have taught people, and the people also have practiced it, and then it has been very useful and beneficial. Results come. So it is better you pray at a time before you start talking with human beings. One reason is so that at that time you don't have any anger, because nobody has angered you. You have not interacted with any human being, so your feelings will be very pure, and you'll be able to communicate with your God and your inner self easily.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm very grateful. Yes, can you go ahead?
So I was asking the opening of the third eye or the I have not had the experience, but I do know several people that I work with or that I know they go to some places like Brazil and other places, and they have experiences where, the priests allow their soul to escape their bodies and they're open up. But the problem is if you're not initiated and you're in the hands of a wrong person, you don't know how to control that. They said, what's the difference between a mad person and a regular person? We're both sitting around here listening to the spirit, but one can control the spirit that they're whispering into, and the other person cannot. So when you go out there and you want to open up your peanut gland or you want to open up your third eye, and you have the ability to see spirits and talk to spirits, if you don't have the ability to control the spirits from which that you see and you talk to, then you're going to become the bad person in which that you're looking for. So unless you're in the hands of the correct Bokor, or unless you're in the right person's hands, then you do not want to mess with your soul, mess with your spirit, or open up any eyes or anything like that. Please, please, please go through the proper channels, and when the person in which that you're working with, and they are authentic, they will guide you on the best way to elevate to every level in which that you need to be elevated on. But just go out here and say that we want to do all of these things because we heard it. This is the double-edged sword. Yes, a knife is great. You could use a knife to cut your meat. You could use a knife to eat. But the same knife that you use in order to cut your meat and to eat is the same knife that can kill you. That's as well as we do in working in spirituality. The same knife in which that we use in order to enhance our life, if we use it on the wrong side, and if we use it vicariously and out of ignorance, it's the same thing that can kill us.
That's very good, very, very true, Kari. Thank you very much for that. The Voodoo way of opening people's eye and their clairaudience and clairvoyance is not by using drugs to induce or cause you to out-of-body experience. We use herbs, and the herbs are things that after initiation, there are herbs that you can be using to squeeze into your eyes, and then some you have to use it to wash your face, some they will put in your ears. So it has nothing to do with any alcohol or any intoxicant or any drug whatsoever that just takes your spirit out of your body, that you have no total control over it. But when you go through the proper channel, just like Kani is saying, you'll be able to be guided in a proper way, whereby you know what to do and what not to do. It is just like, as Kani had also said, the mad person is also saying something. And then the normal seer, like those people who can see like us, we are also seeing. What is the difference between the mad person and you is that the mad person does not have control over whatever they are seeing. and they don't know how to get out of what they are seeing or how to stop it. Whereas the person who is a seer has a channel to see what he wants to see and stop what it does not want to see, and know when to see and when not to see. So if you just get your pineal or pituitary gland open and you begin to think that you are seeing, you may go into trouble and probably you become a mad person, or people will call you a mad person. And I believe my son Senna may be able to share some of the experiences when his eyes were getting open, but then because he was guided slowly, whatever was happening, we were able to tell him how to control it, and slowly until where he has gotten to. So I wouldn't teach anybody on the internet or in the social media by saying this is what you use to open your eye. I'm not that kind of teacher. I would want to know who you are before I will even teach you. Thank you very much, Kami. I think there's no more question on Facebook. Okay, let me take the last question on Facebook, and let me come back to Clubhouse. 1 minute. We have Zoglozo Mabi Atita Kuime Ponayao. It's a very big name. Zoglozo Mabi Atita Kuime Ponayao. Not be small. Please tell me. I want to ask, what is Ashi? How about that? Thank you. The Ashi is a Yoruba word for thank you. Ashi is a Yoruba word for thank you. So people who are always saying Ashi, actually it is the most common in the diaspora. That's how people learn about African words and languages, and especially in people who are doing Ifa. They get to know the Ashi through the Ifa teachings. So there's nothing bad with that. We in Ewe Afa or Ewe Vodu, we will say Elache, which is let it come, and then we say Akpe as thank you. So Atita Kuiba Funayao, it is not anything, it is just the language of the Yorubas. Ashi is also accepted anywhere, and it is very common in the diaspora.
Baba, this is Baba Father Day. Can I address the issue of Ashi and what's very
what's the meaning of Ashi?
Yeah. I want to address it. I am a Baba Lab, so I practice Baba. But what I wanted to say about Ashi is actually a commandment that comes from Olodumaré.
Okay.
So it expands the idea that when you say Ashi, you are making a commandment of what it is that God has commanded to be so.
Okay, so that's what, because
so it's a commandment. So that says that Ashe is here in the tongue. So it speaks in the tongue that the power of the word is to hear that if it has been revealed or if it's revelation, then we say Ashe. Let it be so.
Yeah, but then the people who say, how are you? And they say, I'm trying, then they say, Ashe, does that also have a command in that?
It's a commandment that it has been ordained by the divine, by Olodumaré, by God. Okay, you see, one thing we try to teach here is that we don't teach in the religious aspect of African tradition. We want to teach the spiritual aspect. There is too many religious ceremonies and all kind of things that is confusing people. What I teach here, I teach about the spirituality, how people can be very practical about this. When you say Ashe is a command, and is that command, anybody who can just use that command and it just work?
That's the word I said. There's people that maybe that's how they view it. But Ashe is let it go. That's what it means. If you're commanding whatever you think, whatever you're saying, or whatever is going to come to pass, you say Ashe, and let it be so, let it come to pass.
No case.
Not as far as like Ashe, yes, thank you, Ashe, no. Then you
That's why I'm asking the question, because a lot of people, when you say they like this, and then they say Ashi, which I assume that it's like they are saying thank you, because in Ewe, if we want to say the word Elache, means never may, let it be. Let it be.
I think there's two things going on here, right? I say in terms of how the Yorubas use the word to speak in terms of spirituality and the creation, that here this is to be so, and then here in the Ewe language, I say having a little lesser meaning of that. So that's what I'm hearing. I don't know that specifically because I don't know Ewe, but I
no. In Ewe, when we say Ache, it's not Ashe, but Ache means let it be. It does not.
Right.
It's not a lesser meaning. No, it doesn't have anything lesser meaning. If you are saying that it's a command, then it doesn't have a lesser meaning. When we say Ache, Elache means let it be. It will be.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. But I think we're on the same page with that. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you too, Baba. Thank you. So we have let's go ahead, please. Somebody should come up.
I think on the topic of migration, I think I have a concern that I want to know in which hand should the drink be? Is it the left hand or the right hand? The significant
Okay, Dennis, thank you very much for that question, because I think a lot of people are confused with that as well. You see, it depends on the teacher that is teaching you. Some teachers teach you that use any hand that you can to pray to the ancestors and to the deities and the divinities that you are working with. But then some teachers also teach you that use the right hand to pray to the divinities, the vodus and the spirits that you pray or you are working with, and use your left hand to pray to the ancestors that has passed on, or the human beings that has passed on. So in my shrine, I teach people to use the right hand to pray to the spirits and the vodus and the divinities and the deities. And then we use the left hand to pray to the ancestors. Ancestors are not divinities or vodus. People make the mistake by thinking that the vodus that we have in our shrines are called ancestors. They are not ancestors. Ancestors are people who have shared the same DNA with you. And then, of course, those that you had probably related to on the physical plane through either socialization or whatever way, you can regard those people when they pass on as ancestors. So for me, at my shrine, we use the left hand to pray to people who died already. And we use the right hand to pray to the vodus and the spirits that we work with. So this is it. So it depends on the teacher. Because when I was giving Afa, I was told that when I'm praying to some of the Afa spirits, I should use my right hand. But when I'm praying to Legba at the gate, I should use my left hand. So it depends on the teacher. But I think it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you are just praying to your ancestors. So whichever way you can feel good, please do. It doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Also, we haven't to not wear a slipper or another a shoe when for occasion. Is it really compulsory not to wear a shoe or a slipper?
See, that aspect of saying came from the part of the Old Testament, that whenever you are in the face of God, you should not bring your dirty foot. You should wash your foot or wash your feet. So when you go to the presence of God and you are wearing your shoe, how are you going to wash your feet? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So when you are in the presence of your divinities or divine entities or ancestors, you must be very humble in such a way that you don't walk in shoes and pray to them. Even in certain cultures, when you see an ancestor, you have to remove your hat. Or you see an elderly person, you have to remove your hat. If you are wearing a cap or a hat, you have to remove it before greeting them. I'm sure you are aware of that.
Very true, very true.
So it is the same way when you go to your ancestors to pray to your ancestors to show respect to them. It is not advisable to be in your shoes or in your slipper. But when you are in a place where you have no other choice, whereby you cannot remove your shoes or slipper before praying, you can give an excuse to your ancestors. I'm sorry, I'm wearing my shoe, but please accept my offering. That's how it is.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Dennis. Thank you very much.
To answer a follow-up question on that,
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
so is there like a simple prayer that you would recommend, or anything that comes to thought, or the reason behind your prayer? What those?
When you are praying, you must have a purpose. You must have a reason why you are praying. You don't just go and pour drink and say, my ancestors come and drink. You must know the name of your ancestors. The person you are pouring the drink for, you must know their name. There's a big mistake that has been taught to a lot of our brothers in the diaspora, which people keep teaching it again. That it's okay, my ancestors come and drink. My ancestors come and get the food. Who is your ancestor? There's nobody in the ancestral world called an ancestor. The word ancestor is a general name for people who have passed on. So when you stand up and say, my ancestors come and drink, who are you? What name are you? And who are you calling? A lot of people make this mistake, and I've been seeing people coming from the diaspora, from Canada, coming, so I'm going to see my ancestors. I say, who are your ancestors? I'm going to the castle, I want to see my ancestors. Do you know their name? No ancestor will accept anything when you don't know their name and just say, my ancestor. There's nobody called my ancestor. You need to have the name of your ancestor. And that ancestor is the one that you pour libation for. Invite him to come and take a drink. And when after inviting him and you pour a libation, then you tell them what is worrying you. That, this is your drink, I'm praying this for you so that you can make my life better. Let me have understanding and all this. That's when you go. You don't just pour libation without having a reason and a purpose. And without knowing who you are pouring this into. A lot of people pray and they don't get answers. The reason is that the person who will hear your prayer is not present. Since the person who will hear your prayer is not present, you are just pouring water over a stone. You can never soak it. And this is a lot of mistake a lot of people do every time. And it is very common that people talk about ancestors, paying homage to ancestors, but they don't even know who their ancestors are. They think that, just by saying my ancestor, they have already solved the problem. You have not solved any problem at all. You are just pouring water over stone. Nothing is being helped by anybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa. And just a follow-up question. Thank you for that explanation. So in this case, it could be your, past parent or uncle or
Exactly. Somebody who is connected to you on your DNA line that has passed on into the ancestral world are the people you call. And then whoever you know, you just pray to them and say, after you pray to that one that you know, and so I'm pouring this for you, the known and the unknown, because you can never know all your ancestors. There is no way you can ever know all your ancestors. But the ones that you know are the ones you will invite, and they will take it to whoever it has to go to.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you too for the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings, everyone in the room. Continued praises and veneration to our ancestors in the Most High. Jose, can you please, at least when you're at liberty, to speak on the use of alligator peppers in voodoo?
Okay. The alligator pepper in voodoo, in Fa, in African traditional spirituality in general. But let me talk about the traditional spirituality of the Ewes that into which I was born. There are so many other ones, but I can talk more clearly about what I have experienced and what I know than to be generalizing it. So that's why we say revolution education, where it's African magic with the shrine of Ewe Vodu. The alligator pepper in Ewe language is called atakwi. It is also called veve. It is also called aduve. These are the words that I know for the alligator pepper. And in African traditional spirituality, and especially in the Ewe traditional spirituality, Voodoo, it is the same card between you and the spirit world. Just like when you buy a telephone, if you want to communicate with MTN, Vodafone, ANT, or whatever, ATL, or whatever, I don't know what you have in the States, but at least I know what we have here in Ghana. You need to buy that same card of that particular network. And that SIM card needs to be slotted into your phone, then you can connect with that network and use it and communicate through it. That atakwi or the alligator pepper plays that role in every traditional spirituality. When they want to introduce you to any energy, they will use that energy's incantations on the seeds, just like how the microchips are made and into that chip. The company that we are working with, the network that we want to use, will now put their microchips, micro information into the microchip, so that when you slot it into your computer or to whatever, you will be able to get results or get answers. So the atakwi or veve or aduve, these three names is all Ewe names, or alligator pepper as it is called in English. The incantation of the energy that is supposed to be introduced to you will be poured into the atakwi. And when given to you and you swallow it, that energy now comes into you and connect with you on the spiritual plane, so that you can always connect with that energy no matter wherever you are in the universe. So that is the use of atakwi in Ewe Vodu, and I believe in Yoruba as well as many other African traditional spiritualities. So when we initiate people, that's why I talk about when you want to get, people want to communicate with spirit, want to know how to communicate. If you are not initiated, how are you going to communicate with that spirit? You don't have the same card of the spirit within you. So how are you going to communicate? And people who say, oh, I had a dream and I was initiated in my dream, or I self-initiated. This is all bullshit. Sorry to say that. It is not real. It is just self-deceit and trying to deceive people. You cannot self-initiate. Somebody who knows the spirit and has worked with the spirit and knows what the spirit can do is the only one who has the power to introduce that spirit to you. You cannot just read something from a book and say, I initiated myself. So that is what it is. So I hope I have answered your question. Thank you too.
For those who are interested, and if you refresh this chat, I put up a photo of Atakwi as my profile picture, so you can see what the alligator paradise here and we also have. Thank you, Papa.
Welcome. Thank you all. Thank you, Nana, for the question. Let's go to YouTube and see if we still have any question there. I think we are getting to the end of our section very soon. I have a lot of work to do today. You can see the way I dress up today because I'm going to be working. I was even working before starting the live. So just from here, I have a lot of work on my hands. So please, I will be putting things down very soon. My dear, for Martin Cobbler say, my dear brother, me and Togbi Jopata have today smoked our pipe. Kindly complete the process there. Okay, I'll smoke the pipe for Jopata today. Thank you very much for Martin. I'll smoke the pipe for Jopata. I'll complete this the process here. Thank you very much for that. I'm very happy to hear that. it can cut you. But if you know how to use knife, you use it well to cook food for people. And if you're a bad person, that same knife that has prepared dinner for people to be happy is the same knife that will go and kill people and will put you in jail.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you too. Hello, Kali again. Thank you.
Yes. I just want to say that when we're talking about we want to work with spirits and deities that we don't have any connection with, we need to be very careful because spirits and deities are spiritual beings our lives. And if we do not know who we are and if we have not had the proper training, if the most effective part of it is your legal essay and you're working with the deity or the spirit in order to enhance your life or to enhance the most important or the active part of you. So if your essay, powerful essay is negative, and you're working with a spirit or a deity that you don't have any aspects to, and if they're enhancing the negative aspects of you, then your results are not going to. Then if spirit works with robbers, spirit works with thieves, spirit works with murder.
Yes.
And if they have to come and rob, steal, and murder you, then we're going to say that the spirit that's working with them is negative. No, the spirit is just working with them and it is enhancing that part of them. So we need to be very careful about who we work with, who we're getting our spiritual guidance from, because spirit is just spirit. There is no negative side to it. It's neither a positive side to it. It works with you. So if you are positive, then it's going to work with the positive aspects of you.
Right.
If you are negative, then it's going
to work with the negative aspect. That's very true. That's very true, Kadi. You are very, very right.
I want to second that. It's Queen Elizabeth down here, and one of the drawbacks is that many people get into voodoo or Ifa wanting to fight. And I did have a Bible out. I was in a deep discussion with them about how to attract individuals who are willing to do the deep work. The deep work into themselves, heal themselves before initiation. So I really think that you brought up a good point, Toddy. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Queen. Thank you very much. It is very advisable that you know what you want to do before jumping into it. You don't just start to do things that you don't know anything about. You'll get lost. Even if you are traveling to a place, I'm sure you need to get a roadmap to know where you are going. Otherwise, you are just going anywhere. So he who goes somewhere without knowing where they are going, anywhere can be your destination. Okay, so is there anybody on Facebook that needs anything? I can't see any more interaction from Facebook. I think the last one was from our sister Oluchi Osunwoke. That's where we are. And I think, what do you call it? Okatachi's question has been answered. Let's go to YouTube and see if we have anybody there. Any questions there? Yeah, we have some few questions on YouTube. I think KM was asking, wow, thanks, Papa. So what if you only know the names of your ancestors, but you don't know anything of what their character was here on earth? Do you still call their names? Then, yes, of course, they were your ancestors. Whether they were bad people or they were good people, their DNA runs in your body. They are your ancestors. We don't know that in our families. We even have ancestors who are witches. We have ancestors who are murderers. We have ancestors who are robbers. But they were our ancestors. Because anybody that runs in your bloodline is your ancestor. So you can't say because if the person is a bad person, so he is not your ancestor. Unless, of course, if the person was a bad person to you, and you don't want to empower them, then don't mention their name. But if your great-grandfather was a headhunter, like in my case, my great-grandfather was a headhunter. I pray to him every day here, because that was his job at that time. That's the job that the community gave him. And that's what he was doing. And if the people whose heads he hunted are saying he was a bad person, I, as a descendant of him, cannot call him a bad person. We should be very clear about spirituality. You can't say because only the good ones that are your ancestors. Even the bad ones too are your ancestors. They are all part of you, or you are part of them all. So that's what KM will say. KM again say thank you for your time and wisdom, Papa. Blessings to you all. Thank you too, and blessings to you. And knowledge, Allah say peace. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, knowledge Allah. Then we have Chris Paul. I'll be visiting the temple soon, Papa. Chris, we are here. Don't worry. Anytime that you want to visit, please just let me know ahead of time, because I'm not always at the temple. I do errands. I go to places to do other things. So I am not always at the temple. So you should call me ahead and let me know, and I'll tell you when I'll be here. Then we have Iyan Marie. Ese is thank. Eshe is thank you in Yoruba, different from Ashe. Okay, thank you very much, Iyan Marie. Thank you. Ese means thank you, but then Ashe is also like the Baba had explained earlier, means you should be saying that let it be is a command, and also wielding the power to make it happen from Olo to Mare. So that's fine. Thank you very much, because we all have different languages. I understand some little Yoruba, but not much. So I usually think that Ashe is the same like Ese. Thank you. Thank you. And then we have regardless Teddy saying, Papa, do ancestors reincarnate back into the family? Yes, sometimes some reincarnate back into family, then some could reincarnate into other families or into other parts of the world. It does not really matter whether they reincarnate to the family. But the truth about it is that the work that you will do on earth this time by developing your spiritual self is what will determine where you will be in your next life. Thank you. And then we have an ultimate one saying, good day, Papa, I need some help from you. How can I speak to you privately? Thank you. I think my telephone number is always there, so please, ultimate one. The children will type my telephone number there. You can give me a call maybe tomorrow, because today I'm going to be very busy and I'm not going to have time to be talking to people. But I will talk to you when I am free. Yes, are we done with the Clubhouse?
We're done with Clubhouse. This is everybody okay here.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Tanya.
Tanya, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My question is, you had mentioned that you didn't really get into detail. Is there anything you can share about that?
Oh yeah, Tanya, sure. I have I think the videos of the magic mirror are also on our YouTube channel and also Facebook channel, where at the time I was being given the magic mirror, or when it was being created for me. The magic mirror is, what will I say? People will call it third eye. The word third eye is not usually what I use, but it's the magic mirror. When you are initiated into it, it opens your extra sensory perceptive ability to be able to perceive beyond normal human. The sixth sense, it activates that sixth sense. I think that's what people are talking about. They should open their third eye or pineal gland and all these things. When you are initiated into the magic mirror, it activates your pineal gland and the pituitary gland so that you can be able to see beyond the normal human senses. I think that's all that it is. Tanya, do you want you have any more question on that? I can, if you ask me some more question on it, I can still answer.
So the reason why I asked is because I keep having this vision of a well and some kind of a calculation on the surface of the water in a well and being able to see through that. I'm not sure what it's like convex, and I'm not sure what it is that I'm seeing, and there's like a certain color. And at first I thought it was like stone in water and seeing through that, but I'm not sure what it is. But if it's something that I need to be initiated into, is that something that you can be initiated into before, or is like how is that along the path in initiation?
Magic mirror, or as the common name I call it is Abochi. It's not something I will just initiate people into it if the person is not already on the spiritual path. Because the initiation into Abochi takes so many years. It's not a 1 year initiation. There's so many things to do before the final part where the mirror is prepared and handed over to you. It is not like a simple initiation. It just gives you something to swallow a seed and then you are connected. Because the magic mirror that I have deals with dead people, deals with ancestors, deals with ghosts. So it goes into the world of behind the iron curtain and be able to see information and bring back to this side. So when I was being given the magic mirror, if you can see, it has to do with the grave. I have to sit on the grave of someone who had been initiated into the magic mirror before dying, so that that person can now connect with me anytime I am sitting down to look into the mirror, so he can get the information and bring to me, and then I'll tell the people who are in front of me. So this mirror that I have, Abochi, is not that simple that someone can just come and I'll just give you a seed to swallow, and you also have a mirror and you can start seeing. No, I have to be very honest with you. It's a very, very long process. It took me almost 5 plus years just to acquire this.
Okay, thank you for that. If I want to contact you for a reading, can I just go to the website?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Elba. You're with so much help.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to pour a libation now. I have a lot of work to do. I honestly, I need to be getting off from here. Otherwise, I will again work late tonight. Yesterday we were here up to about 12 midnight, and I had to wake up at 2 a.m. to start something again. So please, I'm going to pray now, and then if there's anything, I think Senna can continue the clubhouse with you. You can ask him questions, and if I have chance, I will pop in. But if there's any question there anybody wants to tell me now, please, you can. Oh, go, mauga, soboli samanduago, mauga kitikata manduago, mauga se manduago. Ese joto ame joto, se na no ame se tie no woman of you dokono, if you woman of you bien dokono, if you bien dokono, if you bien woman of you, se ni popoli pomeyo, and bugate, a better academy, you, the Yemeyo, Shenham for us, semi for us, Emeyo, Leba, Jibosuba, and Mijimedo, and also work for a mikla, and do a boy, appeal a pepper, when the Zabajaco, appeal to Abel, appeal to a senior appeal to oh, no, 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 for honor, assisting Kuga, Mayo, the Yemeyo, a flang at system, and not one Babla, with Tapamachapa, about Blair, or the play, what that Emeyo, talk with Amalebo, Command, Nubasabu, one of the Jimalin, probably Emeyo, Melegba. Your Libation, You are fan ago, I found Bomajo, because people from the element party, we are calling the Meji, Kumeji, Woli Meji, Loso Meji, Moli Meji, Abla Meji, Akalameji, Buddha Meji, Sameji, Kameji, two Pemeji, two Lameji, Letemeji, Chemeji, Fumeji, but the chain to Lamayo, Clever Village, whatever the war, or Tabada, and never put any share, that way, Jimmy Yamino. Quit up with Vida Bassi that way. How come I read Jim and Jimmy Yamino, Mono, and Bobo Mono, Mbaway, Mono. I'm over to proclaiming family. Oh, at Mono who now, how come I read Jim and Mono who now, Lamassa Mono who now, a Viva Mono who now, I may have strong Jim and Sonopono post on them. I may have a VD, with the strong old video, Vipo, no poor and Vinoji. I may have GV overview like Bessan now, oh, of you no segment now. May over GV overview the dollar and I'm saying and Panam go to Asinedi that whenever how come I imagine you ever more no now I'm Messiah. Messiah kill me up, call me and say, Tabu Mama, my young Labuchi, my young Pitawell, a job at my young Pitahubato, my young Milo, Toga, my young that I better talk at Cholo. Moment of Danny, when I make a Okay, I'm done with my prayers. I've just prayed for all of you that the coming week should bring good luck and health, strength, opportunities for all of you. Thank you very much for joining us on African Magic Temple and Revolution Facebook live streaming, question and answer section. Thank you, everybody. May the ancestors continue to guide you all and lead you to the right path. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Bokor.
You're welcome. Sunday. Thank you all. May the ancestors continue being with you and guide you to the right path. Thank you and bye-bye for today. Oh, there's some things here. Hey, where did you get this one's plenty like this from again? Hey, we have so many things. Okay, let's go back. There are some people here. Kwebelali say, hello Tommy, greetings. So to everyone out there, please, about a week ago, a relative of mine who got to know I'm learning how to do Afa reading. What the person told me was, that I evil, and those who do involve themselves into it, lives are being. I'm not understanding what you are writing here. That the person told me at day is evil, and those who do involve themselves into it, lives are being destroyed by spirits. Please, how true is that? Ask the person. Me, I don't know. I don't know who you met, and I don't know who is telling you that. So I cannot tell. You are old enough to know what you are doing. If it is evil, you know. If it is not evil too, you know. It's not me who will tell you whether it is evil or it is not evil. You are old enough to know what is evil. So if you are eating beans and somebody tell you that the beans you are eating is a stone, you who is eating the beans, you don't know whether it's a stone or it's beans. Raise the thing. Let me. The question is finished. You have somebody money and you should pay. Otherwise, they are going to attack you. And if you yourself directly you are not owing people, then your ancestors might be owing some people. So find a way and pay. It could be also you owe voodoo, or you went to some voodoo place and something was done for you and you did not say thank you. So that voodoo will be chasing you. So Aklahoka is talking about debt. owing people. So please avoid getting into trouble. And if you are having akara hoka as your quality that you have got into, please don't eat akara. Don't eat liver. Don't eat kose. Don't eat akara. Don't eat moi moi. Don't eat beans. That's what akara hoka is talking about. So please. That's what I know about it. There are more people who know more than what I know, but this is the little that I can tell you from that. Thank you for your good work, and thank you too for being here today. Thank you very much. Let me see the name again. Delali say, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Delali. I think that's all. Okay. So put that this in off and bye-bye to everybody.